Okay, mathematicians, now we're going to be doing discount and VAT. And what is this VAT term that you might have seen on shop shelves? So let's start with discount and let's take 10 Rand. What is 50% of 10 Rand? When I say what is 50%, it's the same as saying what is 1/2 of 10 Rand. And 50%, 10 Rand times 50% is equal to 10 Rand times 0.5. And that is quite easy to see that that is equal to 5 Rand. What is 10% of 10 Rand? Again, this is the same as saying what is 1/10 of 10 Rand. And you can probably work out that 10 Rand times 10% is equal to 10 Rand times 0.1, which is equal to 1 Rand. What about 14% of 10 Rand? That's 10 Rand times 14%, which is equal to 10 Rand by 0.14. Remember that a percent is always shown up like that, where it's 2 decimals to the left, because a percent is out of 100, which is 2 decimal places to the left. So 10 Rand times 0.14, and that is equal to 1 Rand 40. Do you get the idea of what we're doing here? We're taking what is 50% of 10, and we can say that amount of money times that percent, and then we simply convert that percent into a decimal fraction. What if I said what is 150% of 10 Rand? Let's do the same thing. 10 Rand times 150%. And now this is equal to 150. We move it 1, 2, and that's 1.5. 10 times 1.5 is 15 Rand. That works just as well. So what if I wanted to ask you, what is 14% of 12 Rand 50? Could you work this out? We got 12 Rand 50 times 14%. That's the same as 12 Rand 50 times 0.14. But what if you looked into your bucket and packet of things you knew what to do, and we could do long multiplication here? If you haven't watched the video on how to do long multiplication with decimals, make sure you do. I'm going to quickly show you here. You can always do these questions even if you don't have a calculator. What is 4 times 5? We know that it's 20. Remember, in long multiplication, we stack everything along the side. We don't have to line the decimals up. 4 times 5 is 20. We put the 0, we added 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 2 is another 10. We're going to put that 0 there and add a 1. 4 times 1 is 4. Plus a 1 is 5. We add our magic 0. What is 1 times 5? That is 5. What is 1 times 2? That is 2. What is 1 times 1? That is 1. Now we could add our 2 magic zeros if we wanted, and then 0 times 5 is 0, 0 times 2 is 0, 0 times 1 is 0. So that will give us all zeros, which doesn't really matter. So let's add these up. We have 0. We add those up, we have 5. We add those up, we have 7. We add those up, we have 1. And now we count the decimals. We go 1, 2, 3. There's 3 decimals, so we go 1, 2, 3. And then we can tell that that is equal to 1 Rand 75. And that is 14% of 12 Rand 50. So I want to give my friends 25% discount on my 12 Rand pens. So I want to give them a 25% less of my 12 Rand for my pens. How much do I charge them? So what is 25% discount of 12 Rand? That is 25% of 12 Rand, which is 12 times 25, which is 12 times 0.25. Which you can probably quite easily see that that's a quarter of 12, and that is equal to 3 Rand. But remember, we are not charging our friends 3 Rand, we are rather charging them 3 Rand less than 12 Rand. So we can simply go 12 minus 3 to equal our 9 Rand. But there's an easier way to do this. What if I said 100% minus my discount price? So I said 100% minus 25%, and that is equal to 75%. And then I said, what is 75% of 12 Rand? And that is equal to 12 times 75%, and that is equal to 12 times 0.75, which is equal to 9 Rand. And that's a much easier way to do it, although both will give you the same answer. Let's say I want to give my staff a 16% discount on my 67 Rand hamburger and chips. What do I charge them? Let's go 100% minus our discount percent. So that's 100 minus a 16% discount, and that is equal to 84%. So what is 84% of 67 Rand? We can go 67 Rand times 0.84, And remember, we can use it like this if we don't have a calculator with us. Our answer is simply going to equal 56 Rand 28. Don't forget you can use this long multiplication method. Right, now let's look at VAT. VAT is value added tax. That's what the VAT stands for. It's value added tax. And what does this mean? VAT is a form of tax we pay for when we buy goods or services. So every time you buy anything at the shop, unless it's milk or bread, you are paying value added tax on it. Now, it is different in every country, your VAT. It is different in England, it is different in America, it's different in every country in the world. In South Africa, VAT is 14%. Right? So that means a shop owner will add 14% VAT onto all their products, and this 14% will be paid to the government. It is a tax, right? Don't forget, it is a tax. Let's have a look at an example. You want to sell your pens for 10 Rand. 14% of this will be VAT. What VAT do you pay if you're selling the pens for 10 Rand? So this is money that you will be paying the government. So 14% of 10 Rand is 10 Rand times 14%, which is 10 Rand times 0.4, which is 1 Rand 40. So you've got to take this into account when you're trying to calculate your profit by remembering that 1 Rand 40 of all the pens you sell will be going to tax for the government. Okay, let's continue with an example. Let's say you have bought a packet of chips for 3 Rand and you want to make a 2 Rand profit after VAT. How much should you charge? Well, ideally, you would want to sell the chips for 5 Rand. That's obviously 3 Rand you bought them for, plus the 2 Rand profit. And you think you can sell them for 5 Rand, then you make a 2 Rand profit. But that is not actually true. That is not the case. You'll pay a VAT on that. So we need to add 14%, and it will always be 14% when you're dealing with problems regarding South African goods and services being sold in South Africa. So let's add that 14%. You want to make your customer pay that 14% so it doesn't dig into your profits. So VAT is 5 Rand times 14%, and that is 5 Rand times 0.14, which is equal to 0.7 Rand, or 70 cents. So the selling price including VAT is equal to the selling price before you add VAT plus your VAT. Does that make sense? So what would that be? Your selling price including VAT is your 5 Rand, which is the selling price before VAT, plus your 70% VAT. This is meant to be a 0 here. Plus your 70 cents VAT. That is meant to be a 0. So your selling price including VAT is 5 Rand 70. Let's have a look at another example. What VAT do you pay on a 200 Rand cricket bat? So now you're buying a cricket bat. How much VAT are you paying to the government when you buy that cricket bat? The VAT is 200 Rand times 14%. So that's 28 Rand. You know how to work that out now. So sometimes the price will say excluding VAT. It's very rare to see that in this country, but sometimes you might see it. So what if you said there was a soccer ball that was selling for 150 Rand excluding VAT? So you would go and want to buy the soccer ball. You would actually be paying the shop owner more than 150 Rand because they will still add VAT onto this price. So how much will you pay? What's 150 Rand plus times 14%? 150 times 0.14 is equal to 21 Rand. You've got to now add that 21 Rand to the selling price. So the selling price including VAT is the selling price before VAT, that we know is 150 Rand, plus your VAT of 21 Rand, and that is going to be 150 plus 21, which equals 171 Rand. And that's how much you will actually be paying. So look out if you ever can find something that says excluding VAT. It is very rare though. So now we can add the equation where now we can add VAT at 14% in South Africa always. And the selling price including VAT is equal to the selling price before VAT plus the VAT. Well done. Now we're going to move on to simple interest.